All right, so this was quite obvious. And so Bruce and I are trying to figure out, well, how are we going to handle this lying politician? And we decided, well, all of this, by the way, was rendered in Black Commentator. He answered us not just on the phone, but in writing. He actually put his responses in writing. It's all on the record in Black Commentator. We carried on a dialogue with him for 3 issues in the month of June. This is some historic dialogue that occurred. It ought to go down in history books, and I'm sure it will. So Bruce and I are saying, what are we going to do with this lying guy? And we decided, well, you can't prove that he's lying. He's clearly lying, but you can't prove it. So let's give him a bright lines test. All right? Let's ask him a series of questions. And if he answers the questions correctly, if he passes the test, then he should not be in the Democratic Leadership Council. That's right. But if he answers the questions incorrectly, then he ought to be in the DLC. And we'll leave it at that. So we asked him 3 questions, and we considered them bright line. And they all began with, if you are elected to the Senate, what will you do? The first one was, I will withdraw immediately all troops from Iraq. The second bright line question was, I will submit legislation to repeal NAFTA, the so-called free trade agreement that has resulted in the export of America's manufacturing capacity. And the third was, I will introduce legislation for universal single-payer health care. He submitted his answers in writing, and he fudged and slicked and slimed his way through all 3 of those questions. And Bruce and I now had a dilemma. He clearly failed the test. He ought to be in the DLC. Right. He is a corporate Democrat. What are we going to do? So we thought on it for about a week. We really agonized over this. We were hypersensitive to being called crabs in a barrel. This was a candidate whom we knew was not only attractive to blue-haired black ladies and just all kinds of black folks, right. But he was attractive to white people too. Right. And we weren't really concerned about his attractiveness to white people, but we knew that a certain element of our people yes. Were concerned that black politicians be attractive to white people. Sure. That would make him more attractive to some black people. So we really had a problem, and we didn't want to be crabs. And so we finally decided that we would pass him, even though he flunked our bright lines test. All right, flunked every single question. We said that he passed. All right, so I'm admitting to you that we were less than truthful to our readership. We wanted to avoid being seen as people who were trying to stop the upward climb of an up-and-coming black politician. And we decided, well, let's wait and see. And for a whole year, from June of 2003 until I believe it was August of 2004, we did not mess with Barack Obama. So I want to be clear on that. We didn't start off trying to make war on this brother, all right? But then in August of 2004, Barack Obama became the keynote speaker to the Democratic National Convention. And of course, he gave that famous speech with those fatal words, there is no black America, there is only the United States of America. And Bruce and I knew we were in trouble. We meaning not our publication, black folks in general were in deep trouble, because he had not just been vetted by the DLC, he was anointed as the black at that convention. Right. And he reciprocated by saying, ain't nothing black about me, ain't no black about black America, right. You see. And so, you know, he had thrown down, the die was cast. And we faced the terrible prospect of having the first serious black candidate. We knew now that he had billions behind him, all right? The first serious black candidate for president, and we can't pass him again. That's right. We didn't have that option. If we were going to do that, we might as well get out of whatever business we're in. Right. And that's when we started covering Obama, analyzing his statements, reading his book, and then became books, cover to cover, going over it with a fine-tooth comb, trying to find redeeming statements by him, and failing, and watching him go further and further and further to the right. We were not upset, particularly about the Democrats nominating, about the Democrats favoring a corporate candidate. That's right. All right? I mean, we had assumed, everybody assumed, that it was going to be Hillary, whose husband was the first DLC president, and certainly she would be a DLC president. So it wasn't that we were upset in particular that the Democrats were going to have another DLC candidate. Our concern was, what would this candidacy do to our body politic? That's right. What would our reaction be to this first serious black candidacy? And it was clear, very clear to us, that a silence would descend. That's right. In black America. That's right. That even as we pumped out, we pumped out in 2003, all right? And we both from the Panther Party, all right? What would all these bourgeois black politicians do? You know, where would the accountability be? And so it became clear to us that we were entering into a new period in black politics where the rules were not the same. That's right. That this was new ground. We had never experienced this before. You know, all of us, many of us are of a certain age, we remember that the oldest political skit in black America is the one that revolves around whoever is our top political or activist personality of the day. You know, what if he were president? And then we had who's going to be Secretary of State, and who's going to be the treasurer, you know, and handle the money. And we had great fun. We've been doing that for generations. But here, for the first time, it was real, you see. So this was new ground, and it was very scary ground. But we determined that even though this train was coming down the track, and it would definitely run over us, or at least we'd be on the wrong side of the platform, that our obligation was to hold high the flag. That's right. You know, what is the flag for? On a battlefield, it's so that you know that you have not been defeated. That's right. You know, if the flag goes down, that means you have given up. That's right. And so all we could do at Black Commentator and later at Black Agenda Report was to hold the flag up, to show that there was still some brothers and sisters who were struggling. And also to show that having questions, being skeptical at least, about Barack Obama does not make you crazy. That's right. You know, one of the important things about politics, about left politics, about activist politics, is encouraging especially young brothers and sisters, to know that they're not crazy. That's right. You see? And so it was important for us to take the weight you know, to be called crabs, so that others who had similar misgivings wouldn't think that they were alone. But we knew it was going to be very lonely, and it was a very dark night, and the night is not over. As soon as